It's time for That Was the Woke That Was with Andre Walker.
Hello and welcome to That Was the Woke That Was, the topical quiz show that gives you the wokest stories of the week. And I guarantee absolutely no snowflakes allowed. On my team tonight, I've got Lacey Butcher and Pete Barnes and Emma Barr and the lovely, the beautiful Mahyar Tousi. Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, says Prince Harry always felt less important than Prince William because he was given fewer sausages for breakfast. Now, we talked last week about his chipolata and the fact that it got frozen before the wedding of William and Kate. Do you think sausage has been a recurring theme in Harry's life?
Yeah, I mean, what is his... Well, there you go.
Sorry.
What is his obsession with describing phallic objects? I mean, he's non-stop. But no, I mean, Paul Worrell, anyway, he does anything for a moment of glory, doesn't he?
Yeah, so this has been my thing with this story, is we have to be very careful who we're taking these kind of anecdotal stuff from, because Paul Burrell, let's just say, isn't exactly known as the most trustworthy person in the world when it was the Diana inquest.
But he's slowly turning into Diana, isn't he?
Just
sort of the puppy eyes and all this.
Oh,
I always feel like there's three people in his marriage.
My favourite thing that he said the other day, he says, I've become a victim of Prince Harry. I was like, have you? Since when? I was really shocked.
I feel in our own way, we've all become victims of Prince Harry. I mean, are we not all just sick of talking about him now?
Oh. I don't know. I've got partway through his book. It's not the most ripping read, although I have to say to you, I was impressed by the ghostwriter. Much more lucid than the real person. But I have to say, he continued the sausage theme because he claimed in his boarding school he knew whether people were circumcised in his class. He called them Roundheads and Cavaliers.
I saw that.
What a lovely thought.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not being funny, Pete, but that doesn't happen in Wigan.
No, it doesn't. No,
right?
no.
There's no way that when you go to oral comprehensive school, you're going to get involved in any of that sort of rubbish.
No, absolutely not.
The problem is when you look at some of the memes on Twitter now, I can't even tell the difference between what's actually in the book now and what's a parody. It's so ridiculous.
It's just all it's almost like it's made up.
No.
Oh dear.
It's the fastest
Allegedly.
It's the fastest selling non-fiction book.
I'll tell you what amazed me though, Mahyar, the way that he's now said that he's just remembered other stuff for the next book. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, not everybody is as bad as me when it comes to memory, but you cannot remember that much.
I can't believe he found a ghostwriter now Enid Blyton is dead. Right? It's just unbelievable. Like literally, he sat there going, actually, it was a bit bad what happened when I walked into the corridors of power. Like you read it and you think, I'm not being funny, Pete. It does not seem like the work of a man who has a A-level grade D in geography and B in art. And remember, let's just be clear, his B in art, there were allegations Eton did it for him. Right? So his only one A-level was larceny, allegedly.
Well, the funny thing about this whole thing is a lot of people are complaining that, we keep talking about Harry and Meghan. But I can give evidence on my YouTube channel when people complain. But if I make a video about Harry, people keep clicking on it.
So, do we believe that Prince Harry felt inferior because of his lack of sausages for breakfast?
I mean, the book's been a farce from starting to end, so I could totally believe that to be true.
It's true, yeah.
It is absolutely true! He was like a spare sausage at a breakfast. OK, so here I am. I've just bought Spur by Prince Harry. What a marvellous book. But I'm going to be out and about in London talking to people about what they think about this, the most explosive non-fiction book in British history. Will you be buying Prince Harry's book?
When it's £1.
How long will that take?
Oh, tomorrow.
I mean, it's already half price, but it has been very successful.
I'm not interested.
Have you read Prince Harry's book?
We have not read Prince
No, I've not read Prince.
Why not?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have a question. Why is it half price? That is the real question.
No, they did me over because the full price was £28 and it was half price to 14.
Not enough money as it is.
Oh,
Sickening. Oh, you're better get moving. Have you read Prince Harry's book?
No.
Do you think it's an important book? Are you interested in it?
No.
Do you think it's because he's ginger?
Maybe he is.
Have you bought Prince Harry's book?
No, not intending to either.
Hello, everyone. I just want to ask you, have any of you bought Prince Harry's book, and are you interested in the book? He complained because he said his brother got a bigger bed. Now, it's a bit miserable to complain about that, isn't it?
Yes. childish.
Oh, talking about Prince Harry's difficult work, and it's consuming, and you need your protein. So I think this place is the best kebab shop in London. Yum, yum. I'm interviewing people about Prince Harry. Do you have any... Oh, look at that. What kebab do you think Prince Harry would like? This, apparently, is the German Doner Prince Harry kebab. It's beefy, it's spicy, and it's full of garlic. Oh, nightmare. Oh, no.
Oh, no, no, no.
You want to bite my kebab? No, no, no.
The best one.
The
The best one.
What do you think of Harry?
I don't know. I'm about to pulp it. It's won this book on the shelf.
Well, how ginger is too ginger?
His variety of ginger is very ginger indeed. But it's not really about the colour of the hair. It's about the quality of what he's saying. And
That's almost like Martin Luther King, isn't it? Will you be buying the book?
I already got the book.
How far into it are you?
Well, my mum bought it. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to spend some... I've been super busy this week, so I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But I absolutely will be reading it. I'm looking forward to reading it. It's in many ways, very similar to my mum's story, because she grew up in a family where she was outcast, rejected, like despair.
Have you read Prince Harry's book?
Not yet.
Why not?
I might read later.
You're live on Channel 4, do not swear.
God!
Do you like Prince Harry?
Of course I do.
Do you like Meghan Markle?
Of course I do. I like watching her movie.
She's not in the movie.
I've read part of it. The very first part is very, very poetic, I must say. It's very descriptive.
Did you not think it was a bit vomit-inducing?
A little bit.
Sort of, oh yeah, I was walking around crunching on the floor. I felt like it was almost like it just made me feel in a certain way. When he said he almost walked on Wallace Simpson's head.
That part.
That was rubbish, wasn't it?
No, but I loved it. And it's very, very descriptive and the adjectives are very poetic. I thought it really enticed me to read more. I've got to catch a bus.
Oh, go for it. Go for the bus. You're going to Ruislip today on the E7.
I'm heading that direction, yes.
Well done.
So I don't think people are just interested anymore, man. It's just like...
But everyone's bought it, though, haven't they?
Have they, really?
I mean, I bought it twice.
No, you haven't.
No, that's because I keep destroying them. Do you know something? I've had enough of this book. I'm sick of it. Harry wants us to digest his opinions, so I'm going to digest it right now. Anyway, Emma and Maya, Aberdeen University have slapped a trigger warning on the popular children's book Peter Pan, claiming its contents are emotionally challenging.
Well, on the one hand, yeah, but why? I still don't know why.
I reckon that they would just for the sake of it.
See, I see it's Peter Pan about dead children.
Yeah, but we can all understand how traumatic, a dying fairy would be to people who are studying
that's
it
true.
at university. So these are adults as well.
I'll tell you what, a dying fairy is a night out with him. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Right here.
But no, the thing you have to remember with this, though, is that these are like 18 to 21-year-olds,
Yes.
if not older. Yeah. And it's the infantilization of this that really is the story. It's just like, if you're not emotionally stable enough to read Peter Pan, I don't think you should be at university. I know it's Aberdeen, but you have
No, I'm not.
Arrested Development Aberdeen.
Where did you go then? University of Sunderland.
But no, so the other thing on this story is actually the administration are complicit in this. So they released a statement that said, "Oh, we're very proud of working with our students, and this is what they want." I was like, "You're supposed to be the grown-ups in the room.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the ones telling them to stop."
Do you know the other thing? Can I tell you what my trigger warning would be on Peter Pan? Don't read it as an adult, you sad git. You know what I mean? It's like when you get onto the tube and these people go, "Oh, Harry Potter, it's so marvellous." It's aimed at children. Like they're just sat there going, "Oh, it's really good. Have you got it?" No, I'm not. I'm not watching it. I'm not interested.
It does, and they have the adult cover for Harry Potter now as well.
There's no adult cover.
That's a different website. That's a different website.
She's watched Animal Farm.
No, it's a book jacket.
I'll tell you what.
They've got a different one for adults. They really do.
Yeah.
What would an adult Harry Potter get involved with?
Oh, don't say it.
Dumbledore.
There's a joke about Nimbus 2000 in there.
But
I'll tell you what.
The woke teachers and woke parents who are basically telling their kids, like, this is a trigger warning. These are the same people, woke middle-class people who are telling the same kids to read Harry's book to find out about Prince Harry's penis. That's a trigger warning.
I'll tell you what amazes me, though, about these books, and it's Harry Potter. There's that sad individual who's literally removing J.K. Rowling and rebinding the book. And it's like the Harry Potter book becomes £935. Can I tell you how many mixed grills, including a pint at Wetherspoons, you could get for 935 quid? There's no way. I mean, you could order a savoury per day for about 3 years.
And we know you know that.
I will tell you, Lacey. I will tell you, Lacey.
That's the biggest round
She
of
might be
applause
fit as a
yet.
butcher's dog, but she's losing points now. Minus 100 points.
Well,
Minus
no,
100
I think
points.
it does really bring into question the real issue is what on earth is happening at Aberdeen administration?
Nothing.
When
Nothing's happening at Aberdeen University. Nothing is happening. There's no academia. There's no decent standards. Nothing's happening. What they're doing is they're wandering round to an academic department going, "Are you reading Peter Pan? It's offensive to me. Get a life."
When these adults are studying a children's book, I mean, is this the creme de la creme that we can offer our adults?
No, it's Aberdeen. We've been through this. We're not the creme de la creme.
That's right. What are the principal exports of Aberdeen? Crime, poverty and ignorance. Anyway, is it true or false that Peter Pan is emotionally challenging for the good people of Aberdeen?
True.
It is absolutely true! 50 points to Emma and Maya and minus 150 to Lacey and Pete. Your question is, the Brit Awards have been slammed for going gender neutral and nominating no women for the Artist of the Year.
So my thing with this story is I get to say my favourite phrase. I told you this would happen. Because I remember when this was like kind of first rumoured to be happening, for like about 6-7 months ago, I said they'll all end up eating themselves like they do, and I said this would happen, and now I get to sit here and say I told you so.
Right, but hang on a second. With all this, right? What is a Sam Smith then? Right, because I've lost track. He looks like Kenneth off Benidorm.
But this is the thing, isn't it? So they got rid of the gender categories of best male and best female because apparently they're too progressive and they don't need it. Now they're coming along saying like, whoa, where's all the women included in this? So then there's probably going to now have to be a quota at the next year's to get over this. So then we might have to go back to them having their own categories. And we're just going to keep going round in this circle again and again and again.
I thought we weren't allowed to say women anymore. I thought we had to say person with cervix.
Not on this show.
But how can these supposedly woke people say you can't use the word women and then complain that there aren't enough women in their...
But I don't. But the point is, Emma, right? All you have to do is very simply this: just go, "I'm a woman," and you count.
But this story just makes my blood absolutely boil. I mean, if we want to transform into doing this gender-neutral thing, fine. That's one thing. We all progress over time. Fine. If that's where we're going, OK. But if the women aren't good enough to fit into that category, you've got all these so-called feminists then waging a war over it. No. If you want equality, you have to either be equal to your male counterpart or succeed them. But apparently that's not sufficient.
Oh, but do you remember when we had that weightlifting thing at the Olympics, that woman that looked like Meatloaf?
What the people complaining have got to prove is that the people who have been nominated, they aren't worthy of the nomination and that they were deliberately picked because they were men. You've got to prove that there was bias. If the female artists aren't good enough to compete, then they shouldn't deserve the nomination.
This would have been absolutely fine, even until the 90s and even 2000s. When if you had a film or movie about a female hero, it wasn't based on any virtue signaling, including Tomb Raider and many other films. And if they had done it back then, and I'm still against the whole idea, but if they had done equal kind of competition, then some female actresses would have actually won because it wasn't based on the virtue signaling. Now they are picking female humans. To just pick
you say that like that's abnormal.
Lady humans.
As all women shortlist, it actually makes the women who would have got the job much less respected because everyone's always saying, were you the best person for the job or were you just the best woman?
But this is a genuine feminist wokeism move that has just gone too far, and we see it time and time again. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. We want to be equal, let's do a neutral category. Oh, but there's no women. And that's a crying for help. No, you have to either compete or be the same or better. Let's just see yourself as equal.
Do you know who my favourite entertainer is? It is somebody who started off as a slave, is black, disabled, and rose right to the top of his organisation. Darth Vader. He lost his legs, he lost his arms, started as a slave.
Where is this going?
And then he lost his life.
Lord Vader even got a peerage. The Earl to between.
Got a peerage.
Look, the evil... Look, the
Esperanza's scandal
No,
right
I'm
there.
sorry, but the evil emperor promoted one of the most disadvantaged people in the galaxy to the second in command. What does that prove to you about right-wingers and diversity? Really, it does.
Well done.
Anyway, the Brit... I'll tell you what, we're going to ask the audience, would you go to the Brit Awards? Hands up. Oh, 2 of them would, right. We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
The Brit Awards. OK, the Brit Awards have been slammed for going gender neutral by nominating no women for their Artist of the Year. Is that true or false?
Regrettably.
Yeah, it's true.
True.
It is absolutely true. You're now...
Probably on nil.
You're now on 0.
Yeah.
But don't cause any trouble because I am willing to use my minus position. Police forces. Oh, I hope this isn't true. Right, okay.
Oh, my God.
Police forces. Police is one of those. Police forces around the UK have spent £66,000 on LGBT merchandise, including flags, pens, and rainbow fuzzy bugs.
Some of them is actually, it's not just ridiculous, it's quite harmful. For example, in Scotland, when they decided to not just go rainbowy, but they completely they decided to replace all the petrol cars and diesel cars with electric cars. Then they realized, oh, we forgot to put charging stations. So the cars stopped working in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
The criminals just running away in Glasgow, like, please stop, please stop.
I always think though, in our modern environment, if you go out and murder somebody, you'll definitely be stopped by the police, but it's a defective rear light. Like the sort of blood-ridden axe wouldn't be the problem. It's like, hey, listen, mate, have you paid your tax?
Yeah.
Oh.
Play devil's advocate on this one. I
Whoa.
think you do. No, on the question, just to clear that up. Like the police do have like this kind of building relationships with communities is a way to kind of.
No, it's not.
bring
Stop
people in.
talking. Anyway, no, we're not.
No. But wait. But I think the police. I think they've overcorrected.
Right, I'm sorry,
think that's
0
the
points,
story.
minus 10, minus 20,
no.
minus 50. No, I'm sorry, you're not mounting a defence. Work in this community.
Do you think they have something better to be spending their bloody money on?
Barnes, I'll tell you, you came dangerously close to expulsion from the panel. There is no way. We promised no snowflakes allowed. We're not having it.
We're not doing very well today.
No, we're not doing well.
Minus 150.
We don't want to win that bloody plate, though, please.
Please be better.
It's the battle for the plate. I think you'll find that's gold leaf. Fake. Anyway, so OK. Police forces in the UK have spent £66,000 on LGBTQ merchandise, including flags, pens, and rainbow fuzzy bugs.
The only way it's false is if they spend more money, so it's probably true.
True.
It is absolutely true.
I really don't want to clap this one.
That was The Woke That Was, continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
Honey Monster Puffs are to be renamed Honey Monster Wheats after complaints from the LGBTQ community.
I give up. I honestly give up with the world right now.
Why?
I'm over it.
I actually don't know if this is true or not, I have to admit. But even if it is, it's not the first time that we hear of a company trying to be more woke. But what I don't really think many of these companies understand is that when they go this way, they end up losing money. So it's that whole go woke, go broke.
Do you remember
thing.
when the Milky Bar kid was accused of being racist?
There's been a couple of these, haven't they? Like, it's no longer Uncle Ben's rice anymore. It's just Ben's Original. And there's a couple of other companies that have changed the names. There's some maple syrup one in America is the really famous one.
Who's your favourite ginger, Harry, or the Sugar Puffs man, the Honey Monster?
The Honey Monster.
Honey Monster.
I want my honey.
You're my favourite gingerish.
I'm not ginger.
That's not
Collar and cuffs.
makeup sorry.
Collar and cuffs. Anyway, so Wheat Monster Puffs are to be renamed Honey Monster Wheats after complaints from the LGBT community. Do you know something? This is one of those things which could so easily be true or could so easily be false. But if it is false, it'll become true sooner or later.
I know. That's the thing. It's the thing with this show. Everything is eventually a matter of time that it becomes true.
And we give them free advertising.
I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you. I don't know.
Nothing's been false so far. False.
It is absolutely false. OK, we're going to put you... Right. I'm a little bit depressed about this next question. This is not my fault, Emma. M&M's are launching a woke, female-only bag of sweets featuring lesbian characters and a plus-size purple sweet that represents body positivity?
Oh my God.
Wait.
I don't know what a lesbian M&M would be like.
That's going to be my first question.
It's weird because it's supposed to be a female only, so it's representation of females. And then they thought if you just put lesbians and plus size M&Ms, that represents all women. Everyday average women are either lesbians or fat.
If I was in like one of these groups, I'd be really offended by this. That like it's somewhat pandering, isn't it? Yeah. And what annoys me the most is these, like, you know, like the lesbians and the feminists that all come out saying, "Oh, this is wonderful," and challenging the bigger. It's like, no, it's not. It's patronising, and they're taking you for a ride. Yeah. They're using you to make money. That's what they're doing.
But lesbian M&M could be a rap star. Like, the world's worst rapper.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
They did this before, though, didn't they? With Yorkie. It's not for girls, and then they brought out the girls Yorkie, and I think that works.
I tell you what, though, I'd love to be on their marketing team to see how they came up with this idea. Because I mean, I used to be described a bit of an advertiser's dream when I was younger. I could do every song and slogan to all the adverts on TV. But if I saw this coming up now, I would only see this and be detracted from buying the product. I don't know who's genuinely going to watch this as a new audience. And that's fantastic. I'm going to go purchase some M&Ms.
But Lacey, if you know all the adverts, I will tell you what the hardest quiz question ever is.
Oh no, go on.
They're tasty, very, very tasty. They're very tasty was an advert for a product. Everyone can sing it, but nobody knows what it was advertising. No. The key is if they weren't tasty at all.
They weren't. They were very good.
It was in fact bran flakes. It's unguessable because you imagine they'd be tasty, whereas in fact they're horrendous.
Yeah.
Sitting in the kind of like the advertising agency office, I just imagine like one of those like spin wheels, and it's got all the different minorities on it, and they just spin it round, and it's like whichever one it lands on, that's what the advert's going to be.
Tell you what makes me laugh though. They've got the big purple sweet as a body positive thing. It's basically just give up. Just give up. Just eat 5 of them.
Eat all the M&Ms.
By the way, for bonus point, can you tell me what the role of the bearer of the purple rod is, which is a genuine job in British governance?
Not the black rod, the purple rod.
Purple rod.
Something about it.
Purple rod is the secretary of the Order of the British Empire. M&Ms. Are launching I mean, this is just, we're just going to hope this isn't true. Lesbian M&Ms and a big purple sweet to just tell you to give up on life.
I don't think it can be because they're all about the sugar tax, aren't they? So, the woke brigade.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It is absolutely true, you're wrong.
What?
Oh!
No way.
It is, well done. Inspired by Prince Harry's book, Boris Johnson is releasing a tell-all memoir from his time in Number 10. I mean, is there anything we don't know about what took place?
It's true, but my thing with this is, what kind of book is it going to be? Is it going to be like a scorched...
Colouring in.
Like, colouring in. Is it like a scorched earth one where he just kind of tears everybody down and he finally tells us what he really thinks of people? Or is it going to be like a kind of, this is what went wrong, but this is what I'd like to do, kind of like setting out a new vision for what... to kind of relaunch his leadership or something. It's interesting to see how the book comes out.
But Pete, a lot of these books, in my experience, it's almost like when you see, you know, aged rockers getting back together, and I always think that they should call it like Felicity Needs a Pony Tour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically the main purpose of this book, I'm sure, if of course it's real. I think that ship sailed in terms of making the answer obvious. It's probably he just wants a couple of quid.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's got a lot of dependents to pay for.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like when you see like a really like aged film star suddenly randomly appear in like some like straight to DVD movie because someone's got a tax bill.
I think he's almost doing a bit of a Tony Blair and just keeping every now and then he just merges his head out of the grass and just keeping his name quite relevant and popular. Because let's not forget, not that long ago, he was still the top favourite in the whole of the
He's still the top favourite. He's the electoral winner that nobody wants.
There you go.
I mean, we've put in Rishi Sunak. He looks like Roland Rat. I mean, literally, the Conservative Party have literally decided to take the most successful guy ever and destroy him in the way that they destroyed the most successful woman ever in the 1980s.
There you go.
I'll tell you what. Hey, I'll tell you one thing I will say about women prime minister. But women prime ministers, what a strike back for diversity that was. proving that your ability to govern is not related to your gender. Margaret Thatcher was fantastic. The next two were crap. Well done, Theresa.
It's been a decline since then. The thing I find interesting, though, is that it said that he took inspiration from Prince Harry, not Matt Hancock, who arguably would be far more relevant to his expose inside the COVID diaries, etc. But no, Prince Harry's Book of Tosh.
How much is he going to be paid for this? Because I think a lot of people are going to want to buy this book. Like, if there's lots of like juicy bits in it, I think it could be a real bestseller. I think it could probably outbeat Spare.
Has Boris Johnson decided to follow Prince Harry and do a tell-all book?
Yes.
He has.
Yeah, true.
It is absolutely true. Okay, get your tin hat on.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Former Amazon star Jeremy Clarkson has announced he's going to run for Mayor of London.
What?
I'll tell you what, I'd love him to take on Uncle
Please
Sad.
be true.
Can you
Please
imagine?
be true. The debates, if they have them. Do they have them for Mayor of London?
Yeah, well, they should do.
Yeah.
They should do. The only problem is Sadiq's only about half the height. You might have to sit him on his knee like a ventriloquist puppet.
Like the way they have to keep putting Rishi on higher stats than everyone else.
That's right.
If it's true, people laugh, but this same reaction people had in 2014-15 when Trump mentioned he's going to run. If he runs and he's up against boring Sadiq Khan and the boring Tory candidate you're going to find eventually, he could actually do something.
So should Clarkson have been fired for saying that he hated Meghan on a cellular level?
No. But who doesn't?
Yes.
Don't say that.
Is he not speaking what?
Right, can I just tell you, he got cast out for that.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want to get cancelled. We've only just got here.
I know. And the saddest thing is, obviously, he wrote his apology on Christmas Day, which I think is the bizarrest fact of all. Christmas morning, he thinks, today's the day to apologise.
Come on, Santa.
And they responded, I think, earlier this week, saying, well, we don't accept this apology. He said it was written in haste. But unless all of the other articles are written in haste, then it's just a massive pile of hatred that's continued over time. But no, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he speaks on behalf of a lot of people that Meghan isn't a likeable person. She's done everything to put a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and frankly, I don't like her.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Okay, another round of applause.
I'll tell you what amazes me about Meghan, right? So there can't be many people who have a degree in theatre studies with a minor in international relations. But she is appropriately qualified for that job. There's very few people who can say, I've got a degree relevant to royalty, but theatre studies with international relations is absolutely perfect.
That's the one.
But this is the thing. If he does actually run, and it ends up being true, he can't be any worse than Sadiq Khan.
No one can.
Like,
No, I'm sorry,
genuinely
Pete.
can't
Pete,
be
once
worse.
again, you're becoming a communist. Right, look, I'm sorry, I've been to the toilet and produced stuff that's more capable of running London than Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan, lest we forget about Sadiq Khan, when loads of bus drivers were dying because of no PPE, Sadiq Khan said, I'm angry with the government about this. It was his job to provide the PPE, but his official explanation was that because the government hadn't told him to do it, it was their fault. Also, he put fares up in London, having said he wouldn't, and then he said he was going to fight the government on these fare increases. It was literally him that put them up.
Even worse than that, didn't he fight the last campaign against Zach Goldsmith by portraying, my dad was a bus driver? He's going against his own
all the time.
I
family.
don't know what it is about politicians needing to point out that their dad was a bus driver.
I know.
I mean, because was it Sajid Javid's dad? Wasn't he like a bus driver as well? Like there
Why
was
are there
like
so many bus
9 or 10
drivers?
of them.
Everyone's mum's a pharmacist these days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not being funny. I mean, it was quite a well-known phenomenon of Asian people working on the buses, right? But look, I mean, your dad's a pie trimmer, isn't he?
Oh, my dad.
Professional pie trimmer.
No, but
What is your dad?
no, my dad used to work for Heinz.
Oh, so he is a pie trimmer. Literally. No, he doesn't. Sorry, he doesn't make pies in Wigan. He makes tomato ketchup for the pies. Right? In what way is that not authentically Wigan?
That's very true. But I don't know on this one whether it's true or not.
Well, the whole rejecting the apology is a perfect example of when people say never apologise, never explain. It's because of this. Because the people who say you need to apologise, if you apologise, then they're going to kick you again.
OK, so is Jeremy Clarkson running for Mayor of London?
Jeremy is running, but that's Corbyn, isn't it? I don't think Clarkson's running. So
No, I don't think so.
It is absolutely false. Well done.
That was The Woke That Was, continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
A well-known Norwegian actress is facing 3 years in prison after she said transgender women cannot be lesbians.
This wouldn't surprise me if it's true, because I know that Norway have very similar laws to what they want to bring in Scotland. And we've got this whole mess going on now, where you can self-ID and all the rest of it. And I do. I know that they're really hammering down quite hard when it comes to the free speech issue on this stuff as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's true. And I think we have to take these kind of stories seriously, because a lot of what we keep seeing when it comes to the trans argument is they're doing this in other countries, they're doing this in other countries, as though we should be doing it here. So when we see stories like this, we should take them incredibly seriously. And like,
well,
really challenge...
look, at the end of the day, I always say that the true nature of tyranny is when everybody lies. So literally, nobody in North Korea thinks that the leaders of North Korea are fantastic, but everyone lies to each other on absolutely every level. The reality is, if you have male genitals, you are not a woman. But we're literally saying that if you say that, I'm going to throw you in prison.
A woman is a woman. Now, if you want to go down societal routes and try and change those conceptions, that's fine. That's a different conversation. But spending judicial time away because of the element of free speech...
OK, so a well-known Norwegian actress is facing 3 years in prison after she said transgendered women cannot be lesbians. Is it true or false?
I don't know, but I'm going to hazard that it probably is true.
Likewise, yeah. We'll go true.
True.
Unfortunately, it's true. Muted applause. OK, so a Ukrainian refugee in Scotland has travelled back to her war-torn country for treatment rather than wait weeks for an appointment in her local Scottish NHS GP surgery.
It's a perfect example of what's going on in this country.
Yeah, in Scotland as well.
Yeah,
but
it's not ideal, is it?
Imagine how bad things are in the NHS, that a Ukrainian refugee said, I'm going to take a risk, go back to a war-torn country. I'm literally going to walk through tanks and stuff to just knock on the door on my own doctor. He might not even be alive by now, but I'm still going to take that risk because Nicola Sturgeon's ruined the NHS.
Yeah, what I'll do is rather than go in East Kilbride, I'll get some field bandages from the ex-Soviet army.
But to be fair, we've been spending so much money on the Ukrainian kind of projects and everything else that I think we probably send so much NHS resources there, so we could actually go there, use it there. It would probably be even more effective.
Absolutely. But look, are you worried about the NHS overall?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone is.
I'm not.
Oh, really? I think we should also remember that it's run by the SNP in Scotland as well, rather than the Conservatives. And then I feel like we need some more equal opportunities being rude about them.
Emma, let me tell you, Nicola Sturgeon's a popular figure on this channel.
No, but I think this is a really important point about when we talk about the NHS, but we have to separate NHS England and NHS Scotland. NHS Scotland, I think I was reading a report the other day that said it is a ticking time bomb. We think it's bad to hear. It is 10 times worse.
I mean, to be fair, in Ukraine, there's a fair number of ticking time bombs as well. It's of a different nature.
That's the exact point of this. I mean, sadly, I do know this is true, because it was reported on the Mahyar Tousi YouTube channel. However, sorry.
Just wasting my time, aren't you? There's no point.
The crux of this is the fact that someone would be driven to go back to their war-driven country because they are fearful that they won't get the right medical needs over here. It's truly horrific, and there is a serious undertone to be taken from this.
But the political left have been destroying things with using certain language, like, for example, saying we are the compassionate side, we are this. So every time we try to decide to debate reforming the NHS, they say, well, that means you hate the doctors and nurses. We want to reform the NHS because we want to help the good doctors and nurses. We're not against them. We're against the system. The model doesn't work. That's the thing.
Sorry, I'm sorry. He simply doesn't speak for me. I hate them all. I absolutely hate them all. I would love to take the NHS, smash it up, and sell it to the Chinese.
Yeah. There's also the thing, though, when it comes to Nicola Sturgeon and Scottish NHS, is that she spent most of the time blaming Westminster for all of these problems. It's nothing to do with Westminster. It's all her and it's all the SNP.
Hey, Westminster has ruined it for me. We're all going to die, Mr. Mannering. We're all going to die.
You don't see that on the bloody BBC either. It's always the Tories are doing it.
Yeah.
Never looking at any of the actual...
The Tories are destroying our National Health Service. It's absolutely sickening. That's what you hear all the time.
That's a really interesting point, though, is that you never hear of any major criticism of the Scottish government in kind of UK national press.
Yes.
So I find it really funny. When we have those leadership debates at general election stuff, everybody always thinks that Nicola Sturgeon is the most sensible person in the room, apart from every Politico that knows that she's terrible. But there is just no proper criticism. There's no proper scrutiny of what she and the SNP have done.
No, I remember, though, in those leadership debates, David Cameron always used to complain. I mean, I'm not a huge David Cameron fan, but I think he had a reasonable point. He'd go, literally, there's one guy from the Conservatives, one guy from Labour, and then there's the Green Party of England, SNP and Plaid Cymru, all basically the same party. Yeah. There's 3 of them. He said, I'll tell you what we should have. We should have an English Conservative, Scottish Conservative, Welsh Conservative, and stick it to them.
I think there's some factions of the Conservative Party that probably want that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Have that cranky. OK, so a Ukrainian refugee in Scotland has travelled back to a war-torn country for treatment rather than wait weeks for an appointment with a local NHS GP. Is it true or false?
Unfortunately, yes.
No.
It's true.
OK, so it is absolutely true. Well done. 468 points. Now look, if you get this right, you will be on 0 points. Yes. So come on, this is important now. Come on. And it's not the hardest question in the world, I have to say to you. Celebrity chef Salt Bae has been criticised for serving salted dog meat in selected restaurants.
What?
Yeah.
What is that thing he does?
It's that, isn't it?
It's that.
His restaurant, one of these like animal extinction rebellion people got inside and just like did a protest, and there's a video of like 2 security guards just like lifting them up and carrying them outside and putting them on the pavement.
That is incorrect. It was 4 female waitresses.
Was it 4 female?
Oh yes. And the bloke was going, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
just peg him out. Who cares?
Pick him up and throw him outside.
I'd give him a little kick on the way past. No, I wouldn't if I can't say that on TV. Anyway, so look, it's ludicrous. Dog meat in Salt Bae's restaurant. We're going to get sued if you claim this is true.
But his like steaks are like worth thousands, though, aren't they? Like people spend a fortune when they go.
Yeah, and I think unreasonably so. You know, he's not a Michelin star chef. He's just someone who gained notoriety thanks to, what was it, Instagram, I think? Because of the...
Like he was a meme. Yeah. Vine or something, I imagine.
So no, I mean, I pray it's not true.
I don't think it's true.
It is false. Well done. 0 points.
Yay!
Well, a Conservative MP has proposed that Harry and Meghan lose their royal titles. I've been out and about in London to ask people whether they agree. Should Harry and Meghan be stripped of their titles? Come on, I'll run with you.
Not. I totally disagree.
Why not?
I'm sorry, I'm really in a hurry.
No, I'm running too. I'm beating you. I'm outpacing you. Look at the size of me.
I'm not sure why the politicians are spending time on the monarchy, at the monarchy, right?
Do you think it's fair to call them Whinge and Ginge?
I haven't given them that title. I'm not sure which paper. Have you just given them that title?
Yeah, just made it up. Made it up.
People say.
Toot, toot. No, it's like this. I can do it properly. A source close to the Prime Minister told me earlier that I just made it up in the pub. This is Andre Walker pretending to be Jonathan Pye. All right, come on, let's run together. Come on, we'll go together. Come on. Run like the wind. Run like the wind. So you're currently live on TV in 15 different countries.
Jesus Christ.
No, don't swear.
Oh, sorry. I think it's time to leave him alone.
And I think it's time I left you alone as well. But I'll still outpace you. Look at that. There's a Conservative MP that wants to strip them of their titles. Do you think that should go through?
There are children currently starving to death and living in poverty. They are stupid to be concentrating on the wrong things. That's it.
Should Harry and Meghan be stripped of their titles?
My view is that they should do whatever they think is right, but they shouldn't come back to the UK.
Seems to be a bit of a vendetta against Meghan, but I don't know. I don't know her personally, so I just...
What about you?
I mean, I'm in the disabolish the monarchy kind of camp, so title doesn't bring nothing to me, you know what I mean?
So in that case, can I ask you this question? Is the part of the problem here that we're in this ludicrous situation with a family ruling the country and their personal problems become the issues that affect Britain?
Oh, 100%. Like, it's just a family airing a dirty laundry, you know what I mean?
I can speak Bengali, Hindi.
Bengali? I can sing in Bengali.
You can sing
I'm not joking. Ori champagne wala tiomore korali dewana ori champagne wala. It means hello, Mr. Boatman in Bengali.
I've got some tortilla from Selfridges and it's not even very nice.
Tortilla from Selfridges?
Yeah.
You don't look like you've got a couple of quid. You look like you're ex-services and you're struggling a bit.
No, I'm definitely not ex-services.
You don't look ex-services. You look like the honey monster.
I'm sorry, what?
I want my honey.
That was The Woke That Was, continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
So, Jack and Mary have been voted the sexiest names in the world.
Why?
Why?
Why is there a vote on what the sexiest names are?
There's all sorts of votes on all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Sexiest names. Why is that a thing?
Is Mahyar Tousi a sexy name?
It's the sexiest.
Hell no.
Sexiest, not sexiest.
Hell no. Is that a name?
No, it's not a name.
But I have to admit, it's one of my favourite things about when you can get to the end of the year, when you do like you what was the most common name, what was the least common name. You know, those things are actually quite interesting because isn't there like a shortage of Jeffs and Nigels now?
Gary, Ian's.
Yeah, they're all.
My favourite ever.
Shortage, like they're not a name anymore.
My favourite ever survey is the Beano opinion survey of under 10s. Well, one year they ask every year who is the most famous person in the world, and literally one year they said God at number 3, the Queen at number 2. And Simon Cowell at number 1. I thought, God's been fully dissed by the children of Britain.
That's hilarious.
I bet Simon Cowell's ego went through the roof when he's better than God.
Yes, but he still can't have a knighthood.
Yeah.
Anyway, gutted. Apparently he didn't pay himself anything last year.
I don't think he needs to,
No.
does he?
Allegedly. And it's also alleged that he is the UK's largest income taxpayer at £22 million a year.
He doesn't even live here.
That genuinely wouldn't surprise me.
Good for him.
Yeah, because he wants the knighthood, doesn't he? I'll tell you what, those little celebrities with their offshore trusts, they'll declare anything in Britain to get a knighthood.
It's like David Beckham queuing for the Queen.
I'll tell you what, by the time David Beckham gets that knighthood, it will have cost him like 200 million in tax. Literally didn't even have to declare in the UK. He's what David Beckham needs to do is take a dumper truck full of money and just park it on the Treasury and just empty it onto the forecourt.
Well, I feel sorry for him because, it's clearly, allegedly, certain Saudi officials gave some suitcases of cash and got some peerages and stuff. So apparently it works for some people, but, if you want to spend money on it, you can. But
You're saying peerages in Saudi Arabia have been devalued over the years? I don't believe it. There's only about 5,000 princes, aren't there? I mean, what's it take to get a dukedom, be alive and Saudi?
Where was it that Ronaldo got the law changed so he could marry his wife? What country was that?
Saudi.
Is that Saudi as well?
Yeah.
There you go. He had the law exception because he had...
Sorry, what was the law previously? Ronaldo was not legally entitled to marry a woman. That's not normally Saudi's problem, is it? Saudi tends to be less keen on the other team.
He forces him to change the law so he doesn't have to marry her.
Yeah, there's an exception to the law.
Yes.
I think at that point, you really need to be looking at your relationship. Because if he's willing to go to Saudi Arabia and say, you need to make an exception to your law just to not marry you.
I don't want to marry her.
Not great.
Isn't that unbelievable? So obviously you're talking about sex outside marriage in Saudi Arabia. And basically what he said was, listen, love, you can come over, but if you think I'm marrying you, I'm literally paying a lawyer to change the law to avoid doing it. I mean, how would you feel? I mean, Lacey, I'm not being funny. Emma, not being funny. How would you feel as a woman? How valued would you feel that literally he sent the lawyers in to make sure he doesn't have to marry you?
I think he was a keeper.
He wasn't a keeper. Anyway. Okay. So has Jack and Mary been voted the sexiest names in the world, and do you care?
Definitely not Mary, so no. Mary, really? Is that it? I
don't know.
Oh my God. They're saying false, but it's true.
Yes, we
And so the Harry and Meghan gold leaf plate of doom made in China or fine bone China. It's not. It goes to you. Don't drop it. Don't you? Okay, so thank you so much to my winning team tonight. Lacey Butcher and Pete Barnes, hold up the plate. And also thank you to Emma Barr and Mahyar Tousi. I'm off now to win a Daffy from Little Britain lookalike competition. Until next time, goodbye.